The Michigan Panthers have been eliminated from the 2023 USFL playoffs. In what was one of, if not the best game of the modern USFL so far, between the Maulers and Panthers in the North Division Championship for 2023, the Panthers were on the losing end. Now, before I go into the team, let it be known that basically three players deserve no blame in this. Those are linebacker Frank Gidna and a couple receivers in Marcus Sims, who's also a returner, and of course Trey Quinn. These three guys are essentially the only guys that really deserve no blame. Now, I guess Kramer, their punter, can get a pass, but these three guys were legitimately solid. Gidno, once again, was the best defender in the entire game. 1 sack, 2 TFL, 6 solo tackles, 11 total. Trey Quinn's 104 yards, and Marcus Sims 105 yards kick returning, with a lot of yards that got called back because of some stuff we'll talk about later. Overall, these three guys and I guess Kramer were all very solid. Now, as for the team stats and why this team ended up losing. They got obliterated in time possession by 10 minutes, though they did have 120 more yards total. But those extra yards are basically offset by the fact that running the ball, they got absolutely obliterated by zero point 0.7 yards per rush and by 54 total yards. They did pwn the Maulers 370 to 197 in passing yards with a 9.7 average to 4.9, but 3 turnovers to 0 and 137 penalty yards. Let me say that again. 137 penalty yards. If you're a Cowboys fan, this is deja vu to that game against the Niners, I believe. It was when you guys had like that many yards and penalties. This was bad. This was horrific. And like Canton Rep's article says, most of them were on defense, including the last drive the Maulers had in regulation. Because this game went to OT. Now, in terms of the players, you may be saying, why didn't I say give EJ Perry a pass? EJ Perry was awful in the first half. Almost all of those stats were because of a bunch of long receptions. You literally can see that on the receiving stats on the right side. This is every player that had a 10-yard reception or more. He had a 72-yard to Sims, a 55 to Quinn, a 27 to Hikutini, a 25 to Walker, a 30 to Scott. He had insanely long passes. He literally was inaccurate as hell for most of the game. But because you had a couple of drives which were literally 1 or 2 play drives where he threw a long pass, his stats got incredibly raised up, even though he really wasn't that good until basically like a couple throws. Cole Murphy missed a kick. He straight up missed a field goal that was makeable. It was long, but was makeable. And defensively, this is where it gets bad. The team's total was 82 tackles, 35 solos, 1 sack, 4 TFLs, 2 pass deflections, and that's it. Gidna had the sack and 2 of the TFLs. So the rest of the defense, besides Gidna, had 2 TFLs and 2 pass deflections. Breland Speaks was invisible in this game. I love the man. He was great for the season, but he was invisible. I could not find him. I saw him on the camera a lot, but as soon as the ball was snapped, he disappeared. He was gone. And you know what else was gone? Their rushing attack. They had none. Stevie Scott and Reggie Corbin, their 2 actual running backs in the non-existent attempts they had, weren't good. EJ Perry was okay, but when you consider he's a quarterback always is supposed to rush for more per attempt than a running back. He didn't. So his dual threat ability was like 1 touchdown run, and that was it. So, yes, the team completely imploded in stats. And in terms of the overall just timing of everything, you realize how bad it was. The second quarter had all their turnovers. You had a fumble by Reggie Corbin early in the second quarter, which then led to a Maulers TD. Then you had I don't even know what happened. The Hikutini fumble was like him literally just dropping the ball on 2 drives later. And then, thankfully, it didn't result in anything. But then you had the interception by EJ Perry, which I believe it was that one, which was intercepted and all that. And what ended up happening is that the Maulers got a field goal chance, but thankfully the Panthers blocked it. And then you had a couple long TDs, the missed field goal. And then, of course, at the end of the game, the Maulers are driving down the field. They get a penalty, 3rd and 16, and you ended up getting a penalty. Gave them a first down, and then on a 4th and 6 at the end of the game, they scored a touchdown. And then when a game got to OT, the Panthers got obliterated. They didn't even score a single point. The Panthers blew this game. Simple as that. They choked. They really did. This game was so winnable at the end, despite the fact that they had overall played really bad. This was very much like some of the Generals' wins, really against the Panthers early in the season, where the Generals would have like 3 big plays and that'd be enough to carry them to the victory. That's what the Panthers had. It's just in the end, it didn't even matter because the defense didn't show up. Gidna was the only defender that showed up for the whole game. So I don't know, man. It's just as a Panthers fan, yes, this season was better than last year, made the playoffs, but overall, this was a complete fail in the postseason. I do still believe that the team in the North has a really decent shot at beating the Stallions. I do think the Maulers have a chance. I don't know for sure how good that chance is, but we know it ain't going to be the Panthers because congratulations, Panthers. Only 3 of your players showed up, and now you've been eliminated.
And that is deflected right there at the line in Pittsburgh. They're headed to the championship.